Good afternoon. Thank you for watching. This is Now on this Wednesday. We have a lot of news to get to today. We're going to begin with that 6-year-old girl who's still missing in Waimanalo. She was last seen Sunday night.
Loved ones say they're not giving up hope as the frantic search for Isabella Kalua stretches into its third day. Our Sammy Solina is live in Waimanalo, where volunteers and loved ones are continuing their efforts. Sammy.
Hello. So the Waimanalo District Park, that's actually where it's home base for all of those volunteers. But right now we're on Saddle City Road in Waimanalo, where volunteers are currently searching for what the biological family knows her as Ariel. Again, this is the third day that this has been going on. So pretty much what they did was they gave volunteers a map. They broke it down to different areas, different neighborhoods, so they can cover as much ground as possible. And you can see that this area has a lot of brush. It has a lot of places for volunteers to look. So in order to just keep everyone on the same page, not have people search areas twice, you'll see that there are a lot of purple ribbons in this community, and that marks where volunteers have been and what they have seen so far. So she was last reported in her home on Puha Street in Waimanalo, in her adoptive family's home, around 9 p.m. on Sunday night, and she hasn't been seen since. And HPD, they have not said that they have had any leads yet. If they did, then we do not know about it. The family does not know about it. And we have been told by the family in their briefing with HPD that there are multiple agencies on this, not just HPD, but we see Ocean Safety, we see FBI, and folks, they're really coming from all around the islands trying to search, trying to find her. We talked to a family who's actually from Makaha who said that they have a 6-year-old little girl at home, and if something were to happen to her, they would hope that the community could band together. So far over these past 3 days, there are literally hundreds of volunteers that are out just hoping that this little girl is okay. And you know, even in the briefing that the family gave to these volunteers, you could tell that even though they say that they're still holding on to hope, they want to find some kind of sign that Ariel or Isabella is okay, that they are getting very tired. They've had long sleepless nights trying to find her, and you know, they've even admitted that this situation is looking bleak. But volunteers, they're still out here, they're still searching, and we did talk to more of her family today, and you'll hear from them later on in the evening newscast. Jonathan, Ashley.
So much for that update, Sammy. And as she mentioned, we have new reaction from Isabella's family. We're going to send it over to our Casey Lund, who continues our team coverage.
Good afternoon from Waimanalo District Park, where earlier this morning, family, friends, those volunteers came together and began getting ready for the effort that's happening today. I want to introduce Lana Idao, biological auntie for Isabel. And Lana, can you tell us what the plan is today and what we've had happen and develop overnight?
So today is another setup. Reach out to HPD, find out what is going on. Right now, we don't have any word. We don't know nothing right now. All we can do is just keep going out there and keep looking, and that's all we can do right now.
Tell us what this park has become for you and your family. This is sort of a headquarters. What did you guys do this morning to get set up for today?
Make sure we have more flyers, more maps, a little bit more organized as the day go by. Just try to do our best, you know. And
we were here earlier this morning, and it seems that strangers were just coming up trying to offer and see what's it been like to have the community really try to pitch in and offer help.
It's awesome. It's very awesome. People out of the woodworks, from outer islands, mainland, the other side of the island, Kahuku, Laie, Makaha, Waianae, so much love and aloha that it's very overwhelming and very appreciated.
Is there anything specifically that you need as far as services, donations, or help at this time? Or is there anything that's coming in that maybe is not helpful, that's too much? Sometimes I know that happens as well.
Well, we're not asking anyone for anything. If that's what you want, it's okay. You know, because we still have a lot of people coming and going, and that helps to take care of their needs also. Water, keep hydrated. little snacks to keep them going. We just want to make sure also for the people who does come out and help us that we also taking care of them also, And while we try to work as a team, Ohana, going out there and making sure everybody's safe coming in and out, just doing the right thing.
Yeah. I appreciate you spending a little time with us, telling us what's going on. What would you like to say to anybody that might be watching this to keep an eye out?
If you see Ariel, please contact the numbers that you might have on social media or whatever, or call HPD. Just fly in the information, whatever you come across. If you see her or somebody that looks familiar, call.
Lana Idao, thank you so much for speaking with you. I'll let you get back to things here. From Waimanalo District Park, of course, we'll have continuing coverage throughout the day as well. For now, we'll send things back to you in studio.
Also wanted to show you this social media video being shared by a lot of people. It shows a small person walking down a sidewalk in Kailua, more than 5 miles away from the missing girl's home. It was shot about 12:45 a.m. on Monday, nearly 4 hours after the child was last seen. The video has been turned over to police, but investigators have not said if they believe this is Isabella in the video. Now, new at noon, Mark Carpenter just did an interview with Amanda Leonard. She's with the Attorney General's Missing Child Center. Let's play out a portion of what she had to say.
We primarily serve as the clearinghouse, and we are statutorily required to assist county, state, and federal law enforcement agencies to locate and recover missing children across the state.
And really diving into that, what support does this center provide to the parents and the families involved? I understand it's a very stressful, troubling situation when you're entering these cases.
Absolutely. I mean, we do everything we can to support the assigned investigative agency, and we also circulate information regarding the child and possible whereabouts. We most commonly issue a statewide flyer for the child, and we send it to all of our law enforcement contacts and community partners across the state.
What is the protocol for when a case reaches your office? And it's like, when it finally hits the center, all right, what are the next steps that need to be taken?
Well, we definitely loop in our partner agencies. Our primary partner outside Hawaii is the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and they're out in Alexandria, Virginia. And we utilize their resources, and they provide free resources to the families of missing children as well.
Looking at the state, I understand that there is a database on the MCCH website, but how many open cases is your office assisting with?
Well, we currently have approximately 40 active cases, but this includes various types of missing children cases. Mostly it's going to be the endangered runaways that are reported to the police department.
Take one more good look at Isabella's picture if you can, please. We'll stay on top of this story all afternoon long here at Hawaii News Now as the search for Isabella continues. We'll be updating our story published to our digital platform shortly, and you can look for more coverage coming up on First at 4 on KHNL.
Now to the pandemic. The state health department is reporting 493 new COVID cases today, along with 11 more deaths. Here is a breakdown of the state's latest COVID fatalities. On Kauai, a man in his 70s and a woman in her 80s. On the Big Island, a man in his 70s. And on Oahu, a man in his 30s, 2 men in their 50s, 3 men in their 60s, 1 man in his 70s, and a woman in her 80s. The breakdown of COVID infections by island shows 314 cases on Oahu. The Big Island has 89, 62 on Maui, 19 on Kauai, and 3 residents were diagnosed on Molokai, 6 people diagnosed out of state.
Maui County's Safer Outside order goes into effect today. It limits social gatherings to 5 indoors and 10 outdoors. The new rules also include a vaccine pass program. You'll need to show proof of a vaccination to get into restaurants, bars, and gyms. Capacity is also capped at 50%. Here's Mayor Mike Victorino.
Department of Liquor, when it comes to bar and restaurant settings, especially restaurants that serve alcohol, will be a great help for us, and they'll be monitoring and citing if they see violations occurring. Others will be being reported by the public or others in our community, and our police, if necessary, would come and make whatever citations that are needed, if any, warnings, if any. We will try our best, but I really feel that our community overall and many of our businesses take a very, very serious approach on the various restrictions.
A Honolulu police commander with a history of complaints and lawsuits continues to rise in the ranks. Our chief investigative reporter, Lynn Kawano, joins us now with a preview of her story tonight at 6. I can't wait to watch this, Lynn.
Yeah, Ashley, he is one of the highest ranking officers in the Honolulu Police Department, and we've learned he has at least a half dozen complaints against him from other officers. Now, we're talking about active complaints with the city and federal offices of the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. And yet, he remains in his position of power. Tonight, you'll hear from multiple current officers, some who still work under him, including one who filed a lawsuit.
It's a pattern of retaliation and harassment. And it all starts with discrimination. When you speak up and claim discrimination, it's a guarantee retaliation will happen.
That detective is joined by several others. The retired officer also speaks to us. She won $500,000 in a lawsuit because of that commander years ago.
And what are some of these complaints that are being filed against him?
They include sexual harassment, they include hostile work environment, retaliation. There are a lot of accusations against him. And again, these are active investigations. Some have been going on for about a year now.
Right. And what is the department doing about it?
He continues to be at work. He holds a very powerful position in a very key department, a very important unit in that department. And yet he's rising through the ranks. He's being promoted despite all the warnings from some of these people years ago.
All right, Lynn, can't wait to see it tonight. Again, this is airing tonight on Hawaii News Now at 6. Jonathan, back to you.
New at noon, the president just a short time ago gave remarks on a new security initiative he's outlining. I want to play out a portion of what he had to say.
I'm honored today to be joined by two of America's closest allies, Australia and the United Kingdom, to launch a new phase of the trilateral security cooperation among our countries. As Prime Minister Morrison and Prime Minister Johnson said, I want to thank you for this partnership, your vision as we embark together on this strategic mission. Although Australia, the UK, and US partnership, AUKUS, it sounds strange in all these acronyms, but it's a good one. AUKUS, our nations will update and enhance our shared ability to take on the threats of the 21st century, just as we did in the 20th century, together. Our nations and our brave fighting forces have stood shoulder to shoulder for literally more than 100 years. Through the trench fighting in World War I, the island hopping in World War II during the frigid winters in Korea, and the scorching heat of the Persian Gulf. The United States, Australia, and the United Kingdom have long been faithful and capable partners, and we're even closer today. Today, we're taking another historic step to deepen and formalize cooperation among all three of our nations, because we all recognize the imperative of ensuring peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific over the long term.
China's state-run newspaper Global Times says Chinese warships would soon show up near Hawaii or Guam. This comes after China claimed that there was a U.S. Navy challenge in international waters near Beijing. The U.S. Coast Guard recently released these pictures of an operation near Alaska's Aleutian Islands last month. The Coast Guard says it encountered 4 Chinese warships in international waters 60 miles off U.S. soil. The U.S. Navy also says Chinese spy ships have already sailed freely near Hawaii.
So tensions are high on the Korean peninsula after the North and South both did new missile tests. We got Tina Kraus standing by with the latest developments.
South Korea released this video overnight, saying it successfully fired its first submarine-based missile. It's the first country without a nuclear weapon to test a missile of that type. This follows North Korea's test of a new long-range cruise missile over the weekend. Overnight, the North also fired 2 ballistic missiles, a violation of UN sanctions. The U.S. quickly condemned the North Korean launch.
These missile launches are in violation of multiple UN Security Council resolutions. We know that they pose a threat to the DPRK's neighbors and other members of the international community.
In Seoul, South Korea's president and China's foreign minister met Wednesday to discuss the situation. President Moon asked for China's support to denuclearize the Korean peninsula. North Korea has continued to develop its weapons systems after talks stalled in 2019. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
And new video into our newsroom just now of a critical crash on Ke'eaumoku Street. EMS says paramedics administered life-saving treatment to a man in his 60s who was apparently lying down in the middle of the roadway when he was run over and dragged by a vehicle. It happened just before 10:30 this morning. Ke'eaumoku Street was shut down between Moku Place and Wilder as crews responded. Of course, we'll pass along any new details as we get them.
All right, want to take you live outside now. I just checked the temperature, 82 degrees out there, getting pretty warm. Let's see how hot it will get. Here is Guy Hockey.
How's it on this Wednesday? Light winds taking over today because this passing disturbance will interrupt those breezy winds, so lighter winds only today. That disturbance should be moving out by later today, and that's what later tonight, and that's when we're expecting those trade winds to pick up. So these trade showers that have been mainly affecting windward Oahu will be drying up by mid-morning, but because of the light winds, we'll likely see some afternoon showers pop up for some interior and leeward spots. So those winds will be slowing down today. Still a little breezy on Kauai, but as the day progresses with those light winds, humidity levels will be climbing and the morning sunshine will give way to some afternoon clouds, and those afternoon clouds could turn into some pop-up showers. There are no weather alerts right now, and that UV index expected to be very high. Surf not going to be that high, but we got a little pulse rolling into the south shore. Fun size stuff, plus with the light winds, conditions will be good, although watch out, we got a pretty high tide at 4:52, 1.6. So over the next several days, the winds will be coming and going, getting stronger probably tomorrow. Lighter today, stronger tomorrow. And that's why the weather's going to change a little bit. Afternoon pop-up showers today. Then windward and Mauka showers coming in the overnight and early morning hours Thursday and Friday. A little damp, a little cloudy for windward sides. And then drier conditions, more sunshine coming in on Saturday. Keep it here on Hawaii News Now. We'll have all your severe weather updates.
After decades of debates, complaints, and proposed management plans, the Haiku Stairs are coming down. Mayor Rick Blangiardi announced that he approved the council's plan to dismantle the World War II-era installation. In a statement, Blangiardi said about his decision to remove the stairs that trespassing, personal injuries, invasive species, and overall safety of the public cannot be ignored. Residents near the trailhead say they've seen as many as 100 hikers a week on their property. Here's what Vernon Ansdale had to say. He's the president of the group Friends of Haiku Stairs.
People keep saying it's dangerous. It's a great example, I think, of a vocal minority who are capable of making stuff up, and they just keep repeating it, keep repeating it, keep repeating it. And this is what can happen.
The stairs were built after World War II and were closed in the late 80s. The city budgeted $1 million for the work, but they did not set a date to begin.
All right, so yesterday we were showing you that really funky peanut mobile you could stay in, right? So today we have more digs you can check out, right?
Yeah, that's right. Check out this bed and breakfast. Does it look familiar?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
because it's the whimsical property. It's designed based on the home of the lovable literary bear, Winnie the Pooh. Now, this unique bear B&B it's located in the UK. It sleeps up to 4 guests, but availability is limited. There are only 2 separate single night stays available September 24th and the 25th for about $132 American a night. Now, guests can also enjoy locally sourced honey-inspired meals during their stay, as well as a guided tour through the 100-acre woods.
Okay, so here's what I don't get. How did they make this thing? Because for our podcast listeners, it really looks like a Keebler elf tree or Winnie's tree, right? It's so cool looking.
Very
like
cool.
It has to be. They could not have done that in a real tree. Someone at Disney or something.
Oh, you think it's a fake tree?
It must be. There's no way. I mean, unless it's a redwood, but I don't think those are in the UK. So they just did a really good job making it look like a real tree. And these pictures they did, those were pretty outstanding photography as well.
Don't kill the magic, Jonathan.
I'm sorry, guys. It's real. It's real. It's real. Speaking of real new flavors coming out.
Summer is winding down, so Hershey's is preparing for winter. That means a new lineup of holiday chocolates. Check this out. The packaging for Milk Chocolate Kisses with the Grinch there. The treat will also come in a sugar cookie flavor, and so will Hershey's bars. Now, Reese's is getting a holiday makeover for the first time with peanut brittle flavored cups. Kit Kats will have some extra snap with a gingerbread cookie flavor, and Whoppers and peppermint patties are also getting snow-inspired themes. Now, Hershey says this is the largest holiday lineup ever.
There's so many Kit Kat flavors out there these days.
Oh, yeah.
Really, there is.
You're a big packaging guy. What do you think?
I thought the Grinch one was super cute.
Yeah.
Really cute. And that gingerbread, now I'm taking a look at it, pretty cute as well. All right, now, everyone take a look at this because we're T-minus 42 minutes away from a big launch. This is a live picture coming in from Florida there. The Inspiration 4 space mission will take off in just a short time and will carry 4 civilian crew members. They're going to do a 3-day trip to space, orbit the Earth. It's all to raise money for charity. We got Mark Strassman standing by with the very latest on what's about to happen. There we go.
They've trained for nearly the last half year.
2, 1, liftoff.
Inspiration 4's spacebound civilians, the crew of the first fully commercial, non-government flight ever to orbit our planet.
And as we move, to the moon and Mars and beyond, we're writing the narrative of human spaceflight right now.
There's the crew. 265 feet above the SpaceX launch pad, the mission's commander, Jared Isaacman, walked us down the same path they'll take tonight.
This year, like jetway to the rockets. This is a first. That's significance. That's responsibility.
Responsibility being the first, that there will be a second and a third and a fourth?
Absolutely. You have to get this one right for all the other great missions to follow.
The billionaire entrepreneur, a high school dropout, chartered the flight from SpaceX.
Ignition, liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon.
His reported cost, around $200 million. For 3 days, they will orbit above the Earth, soaring some 360 miles above the planet, about 100 miles higher than the International Space Station. Through the clear, custom-built cupola in the capsule, they'll have hemispheric views of Earth and deep space.
This is where everybody got on.
Also flying, Chris Simbrowski, an aerospace engineer, Cyan Proctor, a science educator from Phoenix, and Haley Arsenault, a 29-year-old physician assistant at St. Jude's Hospital. But when she was 10, the hospital treated her for bone cancer. At some point in space, the crew will talk to children who are now patients at St. Jude's.
They're going to see that somebody who was in their shoes, who also fought childhood cancer, can go to space, and I think it's really going to show them what they're capable of.
This flight's fundraising goal is $200 million for St. Jude's Hospital, and to jumpstart that, Isaacman personally kicked in $100 million. Mark Strassman, CBS News, at the Kennedy Space Center.
Thanks, Mark. Want to take you out to that live picture yet again. We are T-minus 40 minutes away to launch, and let me tell you what we're seeing here. Those crew members are already in place. Could you imagine nearly 2 hours before you go on a flight like this?
What if you have to go to the bathroom?
Exactly. That is a great question that I don't know I want the answer to. But yes, they are already sitting there in place. I'm just thinking, if I was even flying to the mainland and having to sit on a plane 2 hours before it took off, I would go crazy.
Oh, yeah, I need distractions. Give me a magazine or put on a movie or something.
Yeah, I do not see in-flight entertainment there other than just adrenaline and anxiety. But they do look very calm from what we see there. And they also look, they're seating facing up. So,
Yes.
that cannot be comfortable this early and knowing you're going to sit there like that for so long. I think we're planning to bring you live coverage of this event on your H&N social media feed. So check out our Facebook live stream around 2 o'clock, and you can watch it happen. You guys have a great day. We'll have more news coming up at First at 4 on KHNL.